And how about the crime, gangs, graffiti angle? What do you see
Yeah.
as the best approach there?
Well, early intervention is, from everybody that I've talked to that's involved with it, there's a group called Prodigal Son and another group called Grasp that are both led by previous gang members, and they really feel like if you don't get them early, it's just going to be too late. So early intervention, and I think what we need to do is to get activities for kids going again.
Right.
I mean, there's so little for children to do after school and during the summer that, they just sort of gravitate towards an activity, and the gangs give them that, and they give them mentoring, and, so we need to increase the mentoring, that the parents and the community does. The Mayor Webb had, in response to the Summer of Violence back in the early 90s, he put together a Safe City allocations program that would take offers from all the different nonprofits in the neighborhood, in the area, in the community, and then they would choose the best ones that were focused on after school and summer programs for kids, and then they fund those. And it seemed to work really well, and I would like to reinstate that or similar programs.
Okay. Now, to sort of switch gears here a little bit, this is your first time running for office, right? What's it like, running? How has your campaign been going? How does it feel to be a candidate?
Oh, it is a total roller coaster. You just think you're doing great one day, and you have a success, and you're sure you're going to take it in the general election, and then the next day something goes wrong. You don't even know if you're going to make the runoff, and it's just it is a roller coaster, and it's an incredible experience. No matter how it turns out, I'm glad I've run. I've met a lot of people that I really would not have any reason to meet otherwise, and it's great to get the support that you get, and and those highs are really wonderful. When my husband and I were out shopping at like 3 in the morning, because it's the only time you have, and this was on Sunday morning, and we saw the Denver Post, where I got the endorsement for the Denver Post, and it's like 3 in the morning in the middle of the grocery store. We're going, yeah. So
you're checking the Post pretty early that day.
Well, it was like we'd gotten the endorsement from the news the day before.
Oh, okay.
And it had said that the Post was coming out.
So that was a great weekend.
So it was yeah. Sharon Bailey and I split the endorsement for the Rocky Mountain News.
Oh, okay.
But I got the full endorsement from the Post.
Okay.
So that was very exciting.
Well, that's great. Let's see. We've talked about education. We talked about sort of zoning issues. We talked about. Are there any other issues that you've run into that people seem particularly concerned about?
Well, there's a lot of things that all tie into that, but part of it is bringing in new jobs, and the whole downtown area plan, revitalizing downtown, 16th Street Mall, Welton Street, and so forth. A lot of the issues are the vacancy rates, and there's some buildings that people are just sitting on, and I know that a lot of people have been trying to negotiate deals with some of these people, but they just don't seem to want to move. So I think that we need to maybe do a little bit of legislating one way or the other to help, and it is a citywide problem, not just downtown, so I'd like to do some things that help the whole city get over this problem. Some maybe zoning changes, better code enforcement, so that perhaps buildings have to stay up to code on the inside as well as the outside, so that a building one would be ready to rent if somebody wanted to rent it, and and it would just be more attractive and kept up. And it would also probably, because of the cost, maybe discourage people from just letting places, buildings sit. And then I'd like to explore something like I've heard some places do a vacancy tax, where if a building isn't creating the revenues that it should by being an active, viable business, it should be taxed higher, rather than right now the way it is. It's taxed based on its value, and if it's deteriorating, it's worth less, so they pay less. So it sort of encourages deterioration, actually. So we can turn things around and have them pay a higher tax when it's vacant and empty, and of course not when there's no market for it. But if they're currently turning down, market rate offers, and and they just really are sitting on it for no good reason,
Right.
maybe at that point it might be appropriate to do something like a vacancy tax.
Okay. Do you have any final comments to the voters of
The
District
crowd out
8?
there. I just feel like I was saying that the most important thing that's coming before council over the next 4 years will be the zoning code changes, and therefore I feel I am the best candidate for those issues because I've been in the trenches for the last 8 years.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much
Thank
for meeting
you.
with us.